Hey everybody, I'm Evan, and today we're gonna do a bar top height table. We're gonna use some epoxy. This is the finished product. First, you want to mark out how long you want your piece to be. Give that a cut. I'm doing 4 foot long. They're about 13 inches wide at the widest part, so I cannot run them through my planer. Instead, I have to use my router. I'm making up my router sled table right here. I'm putting shims in to make sure it doesn't rock, so when I do this side with my router, I get it nice and flat. So then when I flip it over, I have a flat edge to work with. Then I get a true plane. I'm putting some boards on the sides so my makeshift router sled won't run off the side of the table. You only learn that lesson once. So let's go ahead and put the clamps on. Safety first. It always takes a long time to set this stuff up, but it's all worth it in the end. For when you're done, you don't have any bowed edges or anything. So I did the router. Now I'm sanding it up. I have a rough 80 grit on here, and then I go over it with the orbital sander. I'm going to be using a wood hardener. I just go ahead and paint that right on. I pick off any chips out of the wood. Anything that I can see is obviously not going to stay in place. And then the rest of it I hit with the wood hardener. And since it does change the color of the wood, I have to do the whole piece, not just the parts that are a little bit of a dry rot. But it actually looks pretty nice when I'm done, so I'm happy I went ahead and did the whole piece. So this is just wood hardener. Now I'm going to tape up the holes on the bottom, so when I pour my epoxy, it doesn't pour through. I saw this trick online. I figured I'd give it a go. The box tape instead of the painter's tape. A lot less residue. It ended up working really well, surprisingly. I think I'm going to use this type of tape from now on. It peels away from the epoxy pretty well and stays in place while the pour is happening. The painter's tape has a way of letting the epoxy through. So I do this in about 4 pours. The first one I'm just pouring into the main cracks, the deep ones, and then after a few hours I'm checking out the bottom tape, make sure it holds. And then I can make any adjustments I need to. I don't want to have to pour this whole slab out just to find out that the tape idea wasn't going to work. So this is a few hours later. And then I do hit it with a hair dryer afterwards to get the air bubbles out. So pour, heat gun, air dryer on hot. Get those air bubbles to the surface. This is the second coat. And you want to paint up the edges with the epoxy too. You want the whole thing covered. I just don't hit the bottom. So I do hit the bottom once I peel the tape. I do a wax on it. So here's the tape coming up. Some of it comes up in pieces, but majority of it came up in the one full strip. So I would suggest you two try the box tape method. Works out pretty well. And you can get rather wide tape for that too, not just 4-inch, but I've seen 6 or 8-inch also. So you can cover a lot of holes or a big crack at once. So here's it all balled up. Now I have drips to take care of. I need to even that out. And I end up getting a paint stripper for my drill. And look how slick this is. I figured I'd give it a try, and man, these drips don't stand a chance. I used to hit these with my belt sander and would gum up my belt so fast. But man, this paint stripper works really well. Look at this. Just zips them right down to nothing. I was really happy that I found that I tried this out. All right. So then I'm all epoxied. So that after I get this all smoothed out on the bottom, I end up just hitting that with a citric wax. And that made the bottom turn out pretty well, but who's going to be seeing that anyway? I just want to make sure to protect it from the bottom and the top. See how that looks scratched up? Well, once you get that wax on there, it's going to be clear. You'll hardly tell. There you go. I was a bit scared there until I started applying the wax, but looked really good when it was done. And that's just the bottom. Wait till I flip this thing over. If you like these videos, make sure to like, share, subscribe. I mean, I'm a true DIY guy. I'm not doing this professionally. I do sell these pieces when I'm done. There's the iron making the table. I went and picked out all my pieces from Home Depot, kind of built it in my head, bought all the pieces. I probably made it a little too tall. Next time I'm going to go shorter, but I'm going to call this a bar height tabletop. So let me know what you do differently. If you have any questions about the process, let me know. But give it a follow and talk to you guys later. Appreciate it.